It was another gray morning in the quiet town of Clearwater, where time moved gently and every face was a familiar one. Inside the old diner on Main Street, the aroma of fresh coffee mingled with the buttery scent of toast. Rain pattered softly against the windows, while the gentle hiss of a griddle provided a cozy soundtrack to the low hum of conversation. Among the regulars, a young waitress named Mia weaved gracefully between tables, balancing trays with ease and refilling steaming mugs. Her blonde hair was tied neatly back, her blue uniform a little faded, and her shoes worn from countless long shifts. But what set Maya apart wasn't how she looked. It was her heart. It was bigger than her paycheck, and everyone who met her could somehow feel it. Every morning at exactly 8:10, Mr. Harris, an elderly man, would push open the diner's glass door. He always wore the same gray overcoat and a brown hat, his weathered face etched with stories only time could tell. He sat by the window, same booth, same order. Black coffee, 2 slices of toast, and scrambled eggs. Unlike others, he rarely spoke. His hands trembled when he lifted his cup, and his eyes often drifted to the rain, lost somewhere deep in memory. From her very first week, Mia had noticed him. There was something about Mr. Harris. A quiet loneliness that tugged gently at her heart. The other waitresses served him out of routine, but Mia lingered. She asked how his morning was, made sure his toast stayed warm, and once even slipped him a small slice of pie. On the house. What started as a small act of kindness, soon became their daily ritual. Every morning, she greeted him with a smile and a fresh cup of coffee before he even asked. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of good deeds, please take a moment to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs a smile, and subscribe to Stories of Kindness. Your support helps us continue spreading stories that warm the heart. Over time, Mia learned that Mr. Harris had once been a school teacher. He'd lost his wife years ago and now lived alone in a small house on the edge of town. His children had long since moved away, and though he rarely mentioned them, Maya could sense the unspoken ache behind his silence. Sometimes he brought an old newspaper, other times, he simply watched people. Perhaps remembering the days when his life had been fuller. Maya, too, carried her own quiet burdens. Her mother was ill, and the bills were piling up faster than she could handle. She worked double shifts, attended night classes, and often skipped her own meals, just to ensure her mother had enough. There were nights she cried alone, unsure how much longer she could keep going. Yet, every morning, no matter how tired she was, she greeted Mr. Harris with the same gentle warmth. Helping him reminded her that kindness still mattered. That life, even in its struggles, still held moments of light. Then one cold winter morning, with snow swirling outside, Mr. Harris didn't come. His booth by the window sat empty, and worry crept into Maya's chest. The next day came, still no sign. By the third morning, she couldn't ignore her concern. She called the local hospital and felt her heart sink when she learned he'd been admitted after a fall at home. During her short break, Maya rushed to see him. He looked frail but smiled when she entered, surprised, grateful. No one else had visited. She stayed for a few minutes, handed him a small muffin from the diner, and promised she'd keep checking in. And she did. For the next week, between shifts, she brought him small things. A flower, a coffee, or just her company. The nurses whispered about her kindness, saying the waitress from Main Street had a heart of gold. A week later, Mr. Harris returned to the diner. His steps were slower, his hands a bit weaker, but his eyes, they shone brighter than before. Maya rushed to greet him, helped him to his seat, and made sure everything was just right. Before leaving, he looked at her quietly and said, "You remind me of my daughter." Maya smiled, unaware of how deeply those words would echo later. Life settled back into its gentle rhythm until one morning, months later, something unexpected happened. It was just past 8:10. Maya was refilling sugar jars when the diner door opened. But it wasn't Mr. Harris. Instead, 4 men in dark suits entered, followed by 2 lawyers carrying folders. Their presence seemed to hush the entire diner. They stopped at the counter. "Are you Maya?" one of the lawyers asked. Her heart skipped. "Yes, is something wrong?" He gave a small, solemn smile. "We represent Mr. Harris." Before she could respond, one of the men handed her a sealed envelope. The lawyer continued softly, "Mr. Harris passed away last week. He spoke very highly of you and asked us to deliver this personally." The world seemed to still. Dishes clinked in the background, but Mia heard none of it. Her breath caught. "He passed away," she whispered. Inside the envelope was a handwritten letter and a folded document. Her hands trembled as she opened them. The letter was simple yet full of warmth. Mr. Harris thanked her. For her kindness, for the mornings she brightened. For reminding him that compassion still existed in a world that often forgot. He wrote that her small gestures had meant more than she could ever imagine. Then came the part that left her speechless. The document stated that Mr. Harris had left her his house and enough money to pay her mother's medical bills and finally breathe again. The lawyer explained that Mr. Harris had no family willing to claim his estate. He said. The lawyer added gently, "You were the only one who treated him like family." Tears streamed down Maya's face. Around her, the regulars sat in stunned silence. The quiet man who'd sipped coffee in that corner booth for months had left behind something far greater than money. A legacy of gratitude for the one person who cared enough to notice him. That evening, Mia visited the little house. It was small but cozy, filled with books, photographs, and memories frozen in time. On the desk sat a framed photo. One she'd never seen before. It was of her and Mr. Harris, laughing together one morning when she'd spilled his coffee. He had kept it. As the sunset bathed the room in golden light, Mia realized that kindness doesn't always return the way we expect. But it always finds its way back. She closed her eyes, whispered a soft thank you, and promised to honor his memory by doing what she'd always done best. Spreading kindness wherever she could. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who needs hope today. And subscribe to Stories of Kindness for more true stories that remind us of the good still left in the world. Before you go, tell us in the comments. What's one small act of kindness you believe can change someone's day? Your words might inspire another heart to do the same. And as the last light faded from Mr. Harris's old house, Mia smiled. Because in helping a lonely old man, she had received the greatest gift of all, the reminder that love, in its simplest form, is the most powerful legacy we can leave behind.